it feels really nice.
All right, so where are we at right now? Well, at the end of this month, which is May of 2020, Bryce and I will have been stewards to this piece of land for officially 1 year. It feels like a really big milestone to be coming up on this 1 year land anniversary, and so we'd like to share this update with you. We've been working on the land quite a bit, planting tons of trees, making a driveway, clearing out invasive species, and the biggest project for us, at least, like what took the most amount of work and research and just like mental and physical labor, doing all the calculations and measurements and coming up with the ideas, and also just the decision making that is involved. The house. The house has been a really big project that we've been working steadily on for the past, months, but in physical action, we've been working on it for a little over a month now, and I'm like surprised. I'm really surprised in some ways, but also not, because we're such hard workers. I'm proud of us for how far we are in just that short amount of time. And so, all right, so this video is going to be mostly about the land, and so big things that happened on the land. Let's see. Bryce completed the fencing. That was such a huge task. So that is complete, and the final step in that was installing a gate. So
This
we
is our
did
front gate.
cutting of the fence line and actually installing the gate and driving in for the first time, which was really, really bumpy. And then he laid down gravel, which made it less bumpy. And then we got hard to work on our orchard, because that was something that we had already started in our rental. We had collected something like 60 fruit trees, and we had been just growing them from little 2-gallon or 5-gallon pots up to these like 20-gallon pots, and just, giving them nutritious soil and mulch, and it was time. They needed to actually go into the earth, and so that was a huge step to be able to put these plants that we've been caring for so long, like probably 2 years or so, actually into the earth where they could finally be home. So that was a really special step. And we continued that past like the front orchard area. We extended it through to this area that we call the grotto. And so we have a variety of trees, starting with like citrus in the front, and then tropicals as you go further inland, and then it gets into more of like the hard woods like mango and cherry, and that's just been a really, really special part of it. And okay, so as you go back, we get away from just the fruiting trees, but also get to some of the endemic plants of this area. So that was really cool to be able to plant species that are native to this soil, but are also have been overgrown by other species. So to intentionally plant, to intentionally take out an invasive species and put an endemic plant in its place, or native plant in its place, is like huge for the development of the land, and letting it become a fruit forest again, and just giving the soil and the plants better home with all of that. So that's been really fun. Also in the development, we have cleared out what has become a pond, which we're so excited about. So that came with the clearing of grass, and then we discovered that once we cleared out that grass, so many wild bugs, insects, and like frogs started coming to the area and calling it their home. So we have like lots of cardinals that will come, frogs and toads and dragonflies and butterflies. And so as we've been going through this process of just kind of like rehabilitating the land, making it more hardy, I keep saying this, but like cutting down the invasive species is so much more than just getting rid of something, because I feel like the land needed that plant at a time. Like it grew what it needed to help mend its soil, and now that we're there to kind of help foster this change into becoming more like the old forest that it used to be, we're seeing that cutting down these plants that are really shading things out is helping the soil come back to a hardy texture instead of just being like muddy and sloppy all the time. And like the grass is regrowing, and with that there's like wildflowers, which brings in more bees, which brings in more dragonflies, which cuts down on like mosquito populations and spreads the pollen out, and we get everything pollinated. So it's been a really cool process to be a part of. And that has been the primary focus up until this past, I want to say, about a month and a half, as of not even, as of April 1st. So I'm filming this on May 6th. And so as of April 1st, that's when the focus started to transition more to the house. And so we'll give an update on that as the time comes. Until then, here are some before and afters of different parts of the land. This one is